Welcome to another episode of Let's Get Logical. I'm Katie Lurie, and today I'm joined by the director of BTN Student U at the University of Iowa, Erin Kimle. So Erin, can you describe what BTN Student U is?
So BTN Student U is a division of the Big Ten network, essentially, at all the Big Ten schools, and it's student-led, so student employees, camera operators, technicians, all that sort of stuff. And we broadcast most sports to varying degrees. Of course, a higher profile men's basketball game will be taken by the big network, but we do a lot of the Olympic sports and a lot of fun little things that otherwise wouldn't get much attention.
And what's your favorite sport to cover?
Oh, that's a tough question. Baseball season is coming up, and though I hadn't ever watched baseball really until I got here, it's grown on me. I think because it's such an intense season for us, because we do most of their games, and they have like 3-game series on the weekends, and they used to have weekday games. Volleyball is always a fun one because I stand by my opinion that volleyball is the most exciting sport to watch, and so it's also very exciting to broadcast.
And so what does a typical production day look like from getting in to leaving?
So our call time is normally 4 hours before game time, and when we get there, depending on if we had a previous game and we had some equipment set up, it might look a little different, but if there's nothing already set up, we will figure out or get our sort of camera layout from our boss, and then we'll take all the cameras and all the equipment needed to get it back to the studio. So if it's in Carver, that's just some cable hookups to the fiber connections. I've been running graphics a lot, so a lot of my setup time is creating graphics and setting that whole system up. But yeah.
Obviously, productions can be grueling, so what's the hardest part of putting on a show?
The hardest part is when things go wrong, especially for opens, for right at the start of the game, because that's where we can get the most creative oftentimes, and also where we can sort of fail the hardest. So recently I had, for a women's basketball game, I had a lot of cool graphics ready, and we had some footage of a certain player ready to go from replay, and then the graphics system stopped working and I didn't notice, and so that was a bit disappointing. But yeah, definitely all the technical issues that can get in the way.
So obviously a lot has changed because of COVID. So what do productions look like now because of it?
So because of COVID, well, last March, the Big Ten suspended all their operations. So we all thought we had, lost our jobs, which we kind of had. But in November, sometime around November, we got the sort of heads up that we were going to be starting again, which was really exciting and not something that I had actually expected. So to do that, we are tested with RAT testing, the rapid antigen, the day before and the day of each event. I just have a setup in Carver that's permanently there with lots of healthcare workers, and they're all super nice, and it takes longer to drive to Carver, honestly, to get tested, and I get to, administer the swab myself, which is really nice because if you go somewhere else, it hurts a lot.
Right.
But yeah, and then during productions, everyone's masked up all the time.
And so what would you say is the most valuable thing you've learned since working there?
I feel like I've learned a lot of valuable things, which is a nice thing to say. A lot of it technical information. I've picked up skills that should I decide to pursue sports broadcasting after I graduate, I feel relatively well equipped, although I know different networks have different systems. But I think it's mostly translatable, hopefully.
So you're a senior now, so what do you think you're going to miss the most about it?
I think I'll miss with anything, the job itself is good, but it's the people.
Right.
It's kind of cliche, but it's fun to, we're working hard on production, or you get something in that we really wanted to get right, and then it's just like a little moment of celebration, or the game's a bit slow and we get to chat a little in the studio. And it's fun to, I haven't done camera in a while, but it's fun to do that, and I'll miss that, being around the action.
Yeah. And so I think now for the most important question of the night, how's Iowa looking for March Madness right now? You feeling good about it?
I'm feeling good about them. I've got them at least going to the Final Four. I might just make another bracket where they win the whole thing.
You got to have the faith out there for them, right?
Exactly. We got to put out the energy into the tournament vibes, or, you know.
Exactly. I mean, Garza's looking good there. Got Bohannon if he stays sharp. They might stand a chance against Gonzaga, you know? Yeah. Well, that's all the time we have today. Thank you to our guest, Erin Kimle, and make sure you tune in and watch the Iowa Hawkeyes take on Grand Canyon University this Saturday at 6:25 p.m. on CBS. I'm your host, Katie Lurie, and this has been Let's Get Logical.